Yo, what is going on, guys? It is your boy Rada. Welcome back to another YouTube video. I'm going to be taking you guys on a complete guide on how to tune a drift car in Forza Horizon 5. If you guys do enjoy this type of content, make sure you guys leave a like, drop a sub. We are on the road to 3,000 subscribers, and it would mean the world to me if we could hit that by 2022. If you guys are new around here and you want all the tune codes that I've ever made, you guys could just hit up the Discord. There is every single one of them in there. As you guys can see, I've changed the setup around just a little bit. If you guys want a setup tour, let me know, or we might go over it. I might show you guys what I've got going on at the moment. But without further ado, I'm going to shut up and we're going to get into this tune video. So let's go. Alrighty, guys. So in today's video, like I said, we are going to be turning a car into a drift car, and I'm going to show you guys the whole process, and I'm going to explain a bit more about it to you guys about how the tunes work and how to tune your car correctly. So what we're going to do today is we're going to turn this Nissan Silvia Koki S14 into an absolute drift beast, and I'm going to go through the whole process with you and show you guys my thought process as well. Hopefully this little guide helps you guys turn any car that you guys want to turn into a drift car into the most amazing drift car ever. So we're going to start off with the general upgrades that you're going to want to do to your car. So in this case, we are going to engine swap it to the 3.2 liter, and we are going to chuck on the turbo as well. We are then going to go over to the engine upgrades and basically just make everything race besides the turbo. So we're going to just go and quickly do this. Give it a little rev for good luck. Sounds like a throaty little mofo. All right, we're going to go over to the valves, do the valves. Like I said, do literally everything besides the turbo. I know the turbo makes the whoo-doo-doo-doo sound, but we're just not going to do that today. So my car's sitting around 500 kilowatts, which is pretty good for a controller drift car. So we're going to go over to the brakes and we're going to make them race brakes. This is going to help us tune the brakes and adjust them to the way that we want them to. For the springs, you're going to want to chuck it on some drift springs, and you're going to want to do the anti-roll bars to the race anti-roll bars. Now, the chassis reinforcement and the weight reduction, you can put the roll cage in it if you really want to. It's basically just for looks. You don't have to do this. So in this video, we're not. And we're not going to reduce the weight at all. I like my cars a little bit heavier, but if you want to experiment yourself after watching this video with the weight reduction, you guys can. So now that we go into the drivetrain, we're going to make everything race again. For the transmission, we're going to make it into a race 6-speed transmission. We're not going to go with a 7 or 8 speed or 10 or anything ridiculous. For the differential, I also put them on race differential as well. This allows us to lock the diff, which you guys will see later in this video. For the tires and the rims, I'm going to keep it on stock tires. We're going to make our front tires about 225 and our rears, we're going to make them 235. For the rims, it's personal preference, but I'm going to go ahead and we're going to find these rims here, the ADV.1 ADV Forzas, and we're going to chuck those on. So for the rim size, you can make this personal, but I like to keep it a little bit more street looking with some 17s on both the front and the rear. And for our tracked tire width, we're going to make them as maxed out as far as possible to give it a nice look and stance. Now, you don't have to do all the stuff that I've just done with the rims, but I mean, it gives it a good looking car. Now that we come into the aero and performance, we're going to go ahead and chuck on the big Country Labs wing. That is the only aero performance thing I think I'm going to do. Oh, I lied. We are so going to change it. So we're going to put the C West kit on this car. Apart from the big wing, of course, we're going to put all the C West bumpers on this thing, and it's hopefully going to lower it a bit further to the ground. I kind of don't like that. Maybe we just keep the stock. We're going to keep the stock side skirts on. Damn, this car looks beautiful. I think for the color, we might just leave it the same color as well. So this thing is going to set you back about 74K. All right, most of you guys should have 74K by now, let's be real. So now for the fun part, we're going to go ahead and we're going to try this car with nothing done to the tuning at all, and we're going to see how this thing performs. We're not going to try it here. We're going to go over to the other festival, which I should really make my home festival, shouldn't I? So we're just going to fast travel over there, and I'll see you guys in a bit. So now that we're here, we're going to try this car out on the drift line that a lot of people have been drifting lately. So if you guys make the exact same car as me and you try to do this, you guys are going to feel the exact same way that I feel right now. So as you can see, when you go ahead and you try and brake, the car is pretty much going to stop instantly. And this car is pretty hard to drift. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to change a lot of these with just the basic tuning of the car. So now that we're in the tuning, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys what each one of these categories does. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with tires. So the tire pressure in each one of your tires, the lower the tire pressure is, means the less amount of air that is going to be in your tire and allow your car to have more contact with the road when the tire deflates. So what we're going to want to do, for my drift cars personally, I put the front tire pressure all the way to the top, and I keep the second one at about 2.5 bar. So my settings are in bar, but if you want to go ahead and you want to try and estimate where that is on your screen, just go ahead and do it. We'll leave gearing for last. Gearing is going to be the last thing we do on this car. For the alignment, the drift springs will come with a camber of -5 and a -1.5. This is perfectly stock and standard for pretty much every single drift car. For the toe, so having your toe turned all the way out, what a lot of people do is they put their front toe at about a -1.5 and the rear at about a -3. So what the toe does is it changes the turning response of your cars. Having your front toe turned out to a 1.5 it changes the amount of response you're going to get from your car. You can fiddle around with the rear toe if you want, but I like to have mine a little bit loose in the end. For the anti-roll bars, we are going to want to make them a little bit softer. It allows your car to have a little bit more of a rolling feel when you're turning around corners. So what I like to do is I like to set it to about a 30-25 ratio on the anti-roll bars. And for the springs, what we're going to want to do is we're going to turn those down a little bit as well. And again, it gives you a little bit more of that rolling feel. I like to stiffen up the front to eliminate a lot of that rolling feel that you're going to get from your front, and I like to put it at about a 200. So I like to set my ratio to about a 200 to a 125. You guys can experiment with this as well. All right, so the damping, you're going to want to set this to about a 10 to maybe a 9.5. We're going to set it to a 9 actually. We're going to experiment a little bit this video. We're going to set this to about a 9:7 ratio. And we're going to set this to about a 7:6 ratio, okay? For the aero, if you guys have a big rear wing on like I do, you're going to want to max this out to cornering. This is going to help you. This is going to help the rear of your car swing out and catch some massive angles when you guys are drifting. So pushing the brake balance to the rear of your car makes your car use most of the braking force from the front, allowing the rear of your car to stay in the motion that you have it whilst you're in drift. Turning the brake pressure down on your car also allows you to keep that same momentum, and it doesn't stop your car instantly like when you have race brakes on and you first try and drive it and you slam on the brakes and the car stops literally instantly. We want to turn that off and eliminate that. So when you're tandeming with the boys and you're getting a bit close, you just tap on your brakes and it slightly lifts you off the back of their car. For the differential, so we're going to want to lock the diff. So locking the diff means turning it to 100, and it makes both the wheels spin at the same time. Not only the inside wheel, but the outer wheel spins at the exact same speed constantly, which allows you to keep a lot more momentum in your drift cycle. So now that we've done that, we're going to go back to gearing, and I'm going to explain a little bit about the gearing system. With the race gearbox, it allows you to change the final drive, and we're going to go ahead and make it a 270 or maybe a 260. We're going to go ahead and make 260. We're going to make it to about a 180. And we're going to go with a 140 and a 110. And then the final drive one doesn't really matter because you're not going to hit it as much. This gearing is basically just you fiddling around with the gear setups. The basics of gearing is if you lower the gear, it makes the gear longer. So if you pull this thing down, you watch the graph, and if you pull it further and further like upwards and make the number go higher, it shortens your gear. So allowing your gear to be longer allows you to have more power throughout that gear and not redline it as much as you would. So now that we've done that, we're going to quickly go ahead and apply that little bit of tuning, and we're going to go and try our car again. So right off the bat, I can tell third needs a little bit of work, but for the most part, the car handles so much better. Might actually be able to run this in fourth. We'll have a look. Hold on. I always struggle with that corner. I don't know why. So as you guys can see, the car handles, looks, and feels so much better. Hopefully you guys are tuning along and riding with this whole video. If you guys have made it this far in the video, remember guys, smash a sub and drop a like for this type of content. If you guys do like this, we will make a lot more of these styles of videos. Sorry, I had to focus up. I want to get around this corner good. I can't do that corner, bro. It's so hard. So like I said, third and fourth maybe needs a little bit of gear tuning. So once you've found your bass tune, you can go ahead and you can change third and fourth a little bit. We're going to drop it down to about a 1.5 and maybe put fourth at about a 1.15. We'll try that, and then we'll just get fifth out of the way because no one wants to touch you fifth. Yeah, we'll try that. We'll try third and fourth like this. Oh, I did that corner. Let's go. Alright guys, if you guys have enjoyed this type of video, make sure you guys leave a like, drop a sub, and tell me if this video really did help you guys out in some way, shape, or form with your tuning. And hopefully you guys are now all drift gods and you guys have a basic understanding of how tuning works in Forza Horizon 5. With that being said, boys, I hope you guys do enjoy the rest of your day / night, wherever you guys are from, and I will see you guys in the next YouTube video. Remember to sub, boys, and peace.